starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dan Hagan. Today on Up North at 4, we talk to a local nonprofit executive director, Ashley McLaughlin with Art Start in Rhinelander, to get an update about what's going on over there. Then we dive into the housing market and we will talk to a real estate agent. We'll get to all of that in a bit, but first, here's your top 4 at 4. The spring election is now less than a week away, and in one county, more than a third of the county board positions have no candidate. The Forest County Board of Supervisors will have 8 districts with no candidates on the ballot on Tuesday. The county clerk said this is the only time in recent memory that there will be so many vacancies on the board. For those of you in Forest County, there is still time to register as a write-in candidate. Otherwise, you can apply to be appointed to a vacant seat after the election. Contact the Forest County clerk for more details. The DNR wants to remind Wisconsinites of protected tribal fishing rights. Because of a 19th century treaty, Ojibwe members can hunt and fish on ceded territory to the U.S. government, so off of their reservations. The annual Wisconsin spearfishing harvest is among the most highly regulated in the country. All fish that are taken are documented each night by a tribal clerk or warden present at boat landings. Once the declared harvest is reached in a given lake, no additional permits are issued for that lake, and the harvest ends. The spring tribal fish harvest usually begins in mid to late April and runs through May. More than 4 million Ukrainians have fled their country after Russia's invasion. That's according to the United Nations Refugee Agency. The invasion has sparked Europe's largest refugee crisis since World War II. More than half of those who have fled, over 2.3 million, have sought refuge in neighboring Poland. Peace negotiations between Russia and Ukraine are continuing in Turkey today, but Russian attacks on Ukrainian cities have not ceased. A locally famous Peeps art exhibit is returning to central Wisconsin. The Riverfront Arts Center in Stevens Point will once again host the Peeps exhibit. It includes a variety of art and dioramas using Peeps candy made by local families, business professionals, artists, and more. The Peeps exhibit will be open April 8th and will run until April 24th. Well, a strange start to the morning with all that ice. Meteorologist Conrad Supinski joins us now. Conrad, but it looks like some of that ice is melting away.
Yes, it is. So conditions are starting to improve out there as the ice actually starts to melt, as temperatures start to warm above freezing. But look at this picture one of our fellow colleagues took earlier this morning. A big tree down pretty much across the main road out there. So really be careful out there, as some trees might still be falling out there with that ice before it starts to melt. But right now, not looking too bad, just some cloudy skies for the most part. A little bit of snow closer to Duluth, but in general, mostly cloudy skies out here. But this will be changing as some more snow will be moving on in, because there's still a lot of moisture with this whole system stretching all the way from Canada to Texas. And down there, they have some tornadoes, so some very severe weather down there. Out here, some freezing rain, but we will get some snow on the back end of this, and that's why we have some winter weather advisories for most of the area. Just not anything here in Rhinelander yet and the Wausau area, but that most likely will be changing a little bit later on today, as that National Weather Service will be up to date with these winter weather advisories. But our futurecast does show those clouds and on and off showers lingering and then transitioning to some snow out here by the overnight hours into tomorrow morning, before tapering off by late morning and early afternoon hours. But right now, temperatures are looking pretty cool out there, slightly above freezing, so a good sign with that, but pretty much 33s, 34s degrees all over the location. So it's still enough for all of that ice to melt, which is creating a lot better road conditions compared to what we experienced in the morning hours, but still really chilly out there. But are looking ahead, temperatures will actually drop below freezing in the overnight hours as some more snow moves on in on the back end. You better hit the bullseye, the kid don't play. And if there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out.
Everything seems to be more expensive these days. Everything costs more. Ron Johnson should be helping families like us, but he seems to have helped himself instead. An investigation found that Ron Johnson pushed through a special tax loophole that benefited his own family's business. Then he cashed out of the company for $5 million. He's doubled his wealth since taking office. It doesn't seem fair to me. Tell Ron Johnson to stop passing tax laws that benefit himself.
Get new replacement windows and big savings during Renewal by Andersen's 30-day sale. Don't waste another minute dealing with your difficult, inefficient windows. Instead, call now and schedule your free window diagnosis. See how Renewal by Andersen's full-service custom-built replacement windows can help add more comfort to your home at an affordable price. If you need to replace the windows or patio doors in your home, call this number now and save. Installation is included. Made from our exclusive, low-maintenance fibrous composite material, our windows are tested and warranted not to crack, peel, or chip for 20 years. Plus, the expert installation by our certified master installers makes sure your job is done right. And it's all backed by our industry-leading limited warranty. But you've got to hurry. Call this number now before our 30-day sale ends. Tremendous savings, special financing, and installation is included. Don't delay and miss out. Call today and schedule your free window diagnosis. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window.
My knee pain was to the point where I didn't want to walk. I couldn't sleep at night because it was so uncomfortable. I couldn't do the things that I loved anymore. I had not heard of laser therapy before coming here. The relief you felt when you walked out the front door was like, oh, okay, when do I get to go back again? Because the initial pain that I felt in the beginning is completely gone. It meant so much to know that someone else cared. And I can't thank them enough for giving me my life back.
We're backing up north at 4, joined by Ashley McLaughlin from Art Start here in Rhinelander. Ashley, for the people who are not familiar with Art Start, can you just explain it to us?
Yeah, so Art Start has been around in our community now for 10 years, and it is the Downtown Art and Culture Center. So we do a lot of programming out of our building and educational opportunities. We have 2 beautiful gallery spaces that we bring in regional artists. And then we also do a lot of community cultural development projects.
I was going to say, you guys are very much in collaboration with a lot of different organizations in Rhinelander and individuals. But I want to talk about the skate park in particular. Can you tell me about the meeting last night and what happened?
Yeah, so last night was the first of 3 listening sessions. We held it at Art Start, and we welcomed the community to come in and give us feedback, help us map out some locations for a potential skate park, answer some questions, talk about their relationship with a skate park, how they're connected, and talk about who else we need to bring into the conversation. So it was really a great turnout. We got a lot of great feedback. And it is one of 3 different ways that we're asking the community for feedback.
And we'll get into those different ways, but the skate park, it also would be like a community plaza as well. Can you explain kind of the early machinations of a plan for this?
Yeah, sure. So many people in our community are familiar with our past skate park that we did have. It was solely focused on skateboarding. It was a temporary built structure. And it's no longer in our community. We want to explore different ways of doing it and making sure that it is successful. So we want to find the right location. We want to talk about how the community is going to use it. We want to focus on youth, but potentially there's other ways that we can use it as a community too. Let's figure all that out right up front and come up with a grand plan, reach for the stars, and see where we land.
And if you live in the Rhinelander area, you can fill out a survey on the Art Start website. We can throw that up on the screen now. It's a pretty easy survey to fill out, just a couple questions, right, Ashley?
Yeah, it takes about 3 minutes, I think, to fill out. It's nothing too hard, but it's a lot of great information for us to start the conversation with. So.
And I feel like this is kind of analogous to public art, which is another thing that Art Start has been really working on right now. Why do you think public art is important or should be valued?
Brings pride to our community. It beautifies the space that we live in. If you have a beautiful space, people want to take care of that space more. Brings business into the spaces. There's a lot of reasons to invest in public art. You bring an artist to the table and you come up with really creative solutions to problems that you're facing or issues in the community. So talking about art and public art is essential for our community to continue and develop.
as an example, the Hodeg statue. Dozens of people are there every day taking pictures. And you're trying to catalog all the different public art pieces, right? Can you tell me about that kind of survey?
Yeah, so there is a newly formed commission with the City of Rhinelander that ArtStart has been working on, and it is the Public Art Commission. And one of the projects that they're working on is cataloging all of the different locations that we have existing public art. And we do have a form on our website, on ArtStart's website, to capture all of those locations. So if you're walking around town and you notice a piece of maybe a carving on a building, or you know of a structure that is actually public art, we want to know about it so that we can start talking about those as a community.
And finally here, I want to touch on Project North. It did not happen last year, but I was there for the inaugural one, and it was really cool. So tell me about what's going on for Project North this year.
Project North is coming back. So we have dates September 16th through 18th this year. For people that are not familiar with Project North, it's a downtown festival. It's community art, it's community art, music, and sustainability. So kind of a mouthful, but we have artists and art installations. We set up a big stage on King Street right next to ArtStart, have regional traveling musicians that come in. We have a sustainability eco-village that we also set up. So we invite vendors from all over the state to come and teach about, or talk about art, talk about sustainability, and talk about music. So it is really an enrichment project for our community.
Cool, yeah, I'm excited for version 2 of Project North. Ashley McLaughlin with ArtStart, thank you so much for joining us on
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, we'll be right back on the show. I'm going to talk to a real estate agent about the market right now. We'll be back in a few minutes.
5 years from now, she sits at home, feeding the babies.
Is a new roof on your spring to-do list? Hi, I'm Paul, owner of Overhead Solutions. Now is a great time to think ahead and secure a spot for that replacement on our schedule. Go ahead and call our competitors, but before you sign on that dotted line, call Overhead Solutions. I believe our high quality and fair price can beat our competition.
Call Overhead Solutions for a free roof estimate.
Remember, don't overpay. Call Overhead. Overhead Solutions.
Now is the time to turn your dream into a reality with design and buy projects at Menards. Breeze through your project planning with ease using interactive tools that factor in the details that matter and get 11% off everything. If you're dreaming of a kitchen with an island for entertaining, a deck to grill up the perfect hot dog, or a post-frame building large enough to protect your prized possessions, what are you waiting for? Get a free estimate with instant pricing and buy your project today with Design and Buy at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Here, there are no limits to your potential, to your options, to our reach. It's all limitless. For added flexibility, for more affordability, for increased employability. Because by removing limits, your future becomes limitless.
Northland Basement Systems is the all things basementy company. Basement waterproofing, basement finishing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. When it comes to basement solutions, nobody does it better than we do. Since 1991, homeowners just like you in the Northland have trusted Northland Basement Systems for all things basementy in their homes. Call Northland Basement Systems today to schedule a free home evaluation.
Welcome back to Up North at 4. I'm with Cecily Dawson. She is a local realtor in the area. Cecily, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great today, thanks.
You know, I have so many questions about the housing market, and I don't really know anything. So as you try to explain this to me and our viewers, just pretend that I have the knowledge of a 5-year-old, okay? Does that sound good?
That sounds great. I love talking about real estate, and I'm happy to enlighten you and any other viewers.
So what's going on right now in the market? Why are prices so high?
Well, it's a supply and demand issue, of course, and a lot of people know a little bit about what's happening. It's been a couple years now. Prices have continued to increase, and it's largely because we've got a lot of buyers, and there's quite a few things that have contributed to having so many buyers on the market. The low interest rates, COVID shifted the way people wanted to move elsewhere. There's been some migration. More investors were buying homes, which caused inventory to go down. So there's been a lot happening in the market.
Well, yeah, let's take a look at this graph you made. Price appreciation is accelerating. Can you explain this graph to me?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people ask me, are our homes going to continue to get more and more expensive? People homeowners have found that their home values, to their delight, have been increasing. Is this going to keep happening? Well, the graph you can see here is showing that year over year price increases, it's continuing to get higher. So even as recently as January 2022, home values appreciated more than 19% just in that time frame. And if we keep looking at, I've got another slide, the next one just shows overall in general, over the last 5 years, this is a nationwide thing. And that's one of the things that I want your viewers to note. So often folks are asking me, what's happening in the Northwoods? How come prices are so high? How come everybody's coming here? What's going on? It's actually a nationwide thing. We are not alone. And over the last 5 years, home prices have increased on a national level over 54%. Actually, we're a little bit below the national average as far as the appreciation of homes. The hottest areas are literally the hottest areas. Arizona, Florida, people continue to flock there. We're not the only people sick of winter. People are definitely heading to the south at this time in our history.
What about forecasts to the future? What do you expect to happen?
Sure. So this is something we're all wanting to know as realtors, as we help our clients and customers. So the next slide you can see here, Dan, shows there's 7 different organizations, professional businesses, who research the market, who really try to predict the forecast of what's coming up for our country and how our home value is going to continue to appreciate. In this case, these particular companies ranged in their price forecast from anywhere from 3% to 9% increase with an average of 6%. So what does this mean to me? What I tell my clients is prices are going to continue to go up for a while. It probably won't be this year that we're going to have another 25% increase. So while they are going to continue to appreciate, that acceleration is going to slow down a bit.
That 6% is lower than what we've seen recently by a lot. Okay.
Correct.
Well, I want to take a break right now, Cecily, because this kind of reminds me of 2008 a little bit.
Sure.
So I think we should talk about that in just a few minutes.
Sounds good.
It's Ford Truck Month, America. With new inventory arriving daily, it's time to get after it in a Ford F-150 and a Ford Ranger. Stop by your local Ford dealer today and let us help you custom order your truck your way. Then we'll get after building it. It's Ford Truck Month. Visit your local Ford dealer today. Order your F-150 to lock in 0% financing for 66 months and $500 cash, plus an extra $1,000 retailer order bonus.
Need a new boat or outboard? Then it's time to trade and upgrade with Honda Marine and American Marine and Motorsports, because we need your old boat. We need to buy fishing boats, pontoons, and speedboats. So trade in your old one and upgrade into a new boat today. Come check out more boats and pontoons in stock than anywhere else in Wisconsin. Or we could help get you top dollar by selling your old boat on consignment. It's time to trade and upgrade with Honda Marine and American Marine and Motorsports, Shawano.
I just want our kids to be kids again. Play sports, go to school, without having to worry all the time.
So when we learned the COVID-19 vaccine is safe for kids age 5 and up,
we talked to their doctor, and she helped our family decide to get our sons vaccinated right away.
And to keep taking safety steps in public, too.
Help your kids stay safe and in school. Find a free COVID-19 vaccine for kids near you at dhs.wi.gov/COVID-19/parents.
Your home, where life happens. Family and friends gather. Memories are created. Locally family-owned business serving Rhinelander, Eagle River, and surrounding areas. Come into one of our stores located in Eagle River or Rhinelander and work closely with one of our creative kitchen designers on creating your dream kitchen.
Eagle River Cabinets, building relationships, one cabinet at a time.
Cedar Creek Grill House, the area's newest restaurant, is now open. You bring the appetite, we'll bring the heat. Enjoy mouth-watering entrees for breakfast and dinner, prepared on a fire grill or wood-burning oven. Cedar Creek Grill House at the Holiday Inn and Suites, Rothschild.
We're backing up north at 4, still here with Cecily Dawson of Lakeland Realty. So I mentioned this before the break, Cecily. Kind of reminds me of 2008. Do other people feel that way?
Actually, the people feel that way, but that's not actually what's going on. So I'd love to share with your viewers. I get this from a lot of people. It's going to crash. We're on a bubble. For people who don't know what do we mean by a bubble, it means that they think the housing prices are getting so high that eventually it's going to pop and things are just going to rattle down to really low prices again, like we had in 2008. And as you can see by the slide, there's still 77% of consumers are worried that this is the case, whereas realtors are less likely to think that. If you look at the next slide, we're going to see here what is different about now compared to that time. First thing is a huge piece of it, folks, and that's inventory. Right now, we do not have a lot of inventory. Right now in the state of Wisconsin, our inventory for houses is about a month and a half of inventory, whereas in 2007, 2008, we were looking at 9 months of inventory. So if someone was struggling to make their home payments and they wanted to sell, back then, it might not ever get sold. Right now, there is somebody there waiting to buy that home. So that's one piece where it's much, much different situation. And the second piece is on the last slide here, shows that it's a different type of borrower that had the loans at that time. You're seeing there the higher risk loans you've heard about in the news and so forth really made up the bulk of where those loans were, and those were the ones most likely to foreclose.
So it seems like supply and demand is really driving this burst in prices, as well as the loans are different, which means
the loans are much different.
This is not like the bubble of 2008.
Right, and so many more Americans have a great amount of equity than they ever have. I don't have a slide for that, but it's just a completely different situation.
So Cecily, for the buyers, the sellers out there, do you have any words of advice for them?
Sure, of course, I always have lots of advice. Real quick, one thing I would share with buyers is because the market is so competitive and trying to find a home with multiple offers, one of the best things you can do as a buyer is to use either a conventional loan or be a cash buyer if possible. So if you can't get a house yet, just please keep saving so you have a higher down payment. It really increases your chances of getting a home in this market and in the next couple of years. For sellers, many sellers are afraid to move. They don't know where they're going to go. That's a conversation you can have with a real estate professional. Since this low inventory thing has been taking place, we've learned some great strategies to help sellers figure out, how do I sell? Where am I going to go? How do I close that gap? And it's worth asking the questions.
Well, Cecily, thank you for coming on. I feel like I learned a lot today, so I appreciate you doing this.
My pleasure. Anytime, Dan. Thank you.
We'll be right back in Up North at 4. I'm going to be joined by Conrad Supinski, and we're going to talk about the weather event that's coming tonight. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Attention homeowners, we started out with 50, then 30, and now we reach the final days looking for 20 homeowners to participate in our home energy assessment program. Mad City Home Improvement wants to help you lower your heating bills with eShield attic insulation. America's leader in energy reflective technology, the attic energy barrier that qualifies for a tax credit this year. Call now. Final days. 20 homeowners who participate in our home energy assessment program will receive special savings. For starters, free installation of eShield attic insulation. 18 months, no interest, no payments, senior military discounts. Will even compensate you for your time. Call during this program to get a free $50 Amazon gift card with estimate. Visit MadCityInsulation.com, and throughout north central Wisconsin, call 715-803-6722. That's 715-803-6722.
eShield insulation in the attic. I think that combined has saved us now 30 to almost 40% on our utility bills. It's incredible.
Call Mad City Home Improvement for eShield Attic Energy Barrier and increase the life of your heating and cooling system by over 20%. eShield eliminates cold drafts in your attic, and it works well along with blown-in attic insulation to help ease the pinch of higher energy costs by giving your home an energy upgrade. Final days, 20 homeowners who participate in our home energy assessment program will receive special savings. Free installation of eShield attic insulation. 18 months, no interest, no payments. And if you call in now, we'll compensate you for your time, and you get a $50 Amazon gift card with estimate. Visit MadCityInsulation.com, and throughout north central Wisconsin, call 715-803-6722. That's 715-803-6722.
Wet basement got you down? Is that damp, musty odor preventing you from using your home the way you want to? A wet, damp basement is a real problem that can worsen asthma and allergies, affect indoor air quality, and even damage your valuables. Let SureDry protect your home. When it comes to basements, nobody does it better. SureDry will transform your basement into dry, usable space and improve the air quality of your entire home. Call SureDry today.
We're backing up north at 4. You know, Conrad, I did something I've always wanted to do this morning. I have a video of it. I've seen these videos everywhere where people like punch out ice in their cars. And I finally had a chance. Pretty satisfying, I have to say. Just a really weird night last night. How much did we get, and was it all over the area, Conrad?
Yes, so we pretty much got a quarter of an inch of ice, and I wish I did something like this like you, but I wasn't up early enough, you know, since I was working up late yesterday. But yeah, lots of ice out there, and now it's finally starting to melt. You know, temperatures are starting to rise up there, thankfully.
Well, before we get into tonight's forecast, I want the viewers to know a little bit more about you. Got another picture right here. Cool. Can you tell us about this picture?
Yes, so this was a picture I took in Alaska. We were actually on our way to Fairbanks, Alaska. So I don't know if you guys know, but Fairbanks is pretty much in the center of Alaska, so it's very, very cold out there. It's pretty much the tundra out there. It's really cold, but when we were there, I mean, we had beautiful weather. It was in the 20s and 30s, so we actually took a picture in the middle of the highway with the mountains in the back, so really cool picture. That is an
awesome picture. Well, I kind of wish we had that weather. That looks pretty nice, which is weird to say that I wish I had Alaska weather, but we got some snow coming in tonight, right?
Yes, yes. So we had some ice earlier today. As our picture does show, one of our fellow workers out here took this picture earlier this morning where this big tree actually fell on the main road. He was trying to get back home to wrap everything up and come to work. So really dangerous conditions out there earlier today. Right now, not looking too bad, just some cloudy skies, but we will get some snow on the back end as we still have a lot of moisture with the system. So I'm thinking 1 to 3 inches out here, and then a lot more to the north and east of us, and then around an inch, maybe an inch and a half south and west of us. So not a big low pressure system right now involving snow, but still something to cause some hassle.
I feel like I usually don't see those systems that stretch all the way across the continental U.S.
Yes.
That's rare, right?
It's very rare,
okay.
Yes. This is the second one. We had one last week like this with tornadoes in the south. So.
Okay, we'll have more from Conrad at 5 and 6. We'll see. Excuse me. We'll see you then.